G'day, Longreach in the absolute middle of Queensland. Well worth the trip. I got here via Cairns, Mareeba and cut my way down and then through Winton and Longreach. You might choose coming from Townsville or from Rockhampton. Either which way on a single trip, it is a bit of a distance, but well worth it, absolutely. So the four great things you'll see when you get there is the Qantas Museum and a tour of that. There's also the Stockman's Hall of Fame, which is absolutely unbelievable. It really is so good. There's a Riverboat Cruise worth going on to, and there's the Cobb Co Coach Ride. So you might want to jump on back of that and head off on through town. They're four things definitely worth seeing. In this video I will show you, as always, how long, how much, how far. How long it is to drive from both Townsville or from Rockhampton. And I'll also show you how long, how much in accommodation and how much the tours cost, and how far, literally, physically, how many kilometres it is from driving each of those. So without too much further ado, let's go. To make the map look a bit more simple, I've assumed that you're coming from Rockhampton. Good morning. Yes, still morning. Just wanted to show you this campground. Really great campground. It's massive. Not sure if you can see the expanse of that, but it's just huge. Could easily and fairly comfortably have 100 caravans and trailers in here and the occasional tent. And when this is full, there's an overflow just beyond that. This is called the Apex Park River camping spot. In town, you probably already know, you've got the Qantas Museum, which was extraordinary. I did both the museum and the view over the planes themselves. That was definitely well worth recommending, well worth doing. And the other one I really enjoyed was the Australian. It's called the Australian. I'm going to put it down the bottom. It's basically a museum dedicated for riders and bushmen and all that sort of stuff that actually helped create Australia and still actually doing it even today. Museum was great, absolutely state of the art. What they do is they give you an iPod headset, and as you're walking through the museum, the indicators, you don't know what's happening, but all the technology clicks into your iPod and starts talking to you about what you're looking at. Here I am in Australian Stockman Hall of Fame. Absolutely superb. I've already done the interactive tour and I've seen the video. That was great. I'm just about to go and see the show. Definitely heavily recommend this. Would be one of the best productions I've seen in the world.
Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is just pop you up here. Whoop, there we go. Alright. Now that'll be a lot easier on my back. Which foot first, mate? Oh, okay. Get that one done, get the rocks out of there. Putting along, you know, pulling up the evening, setting up camp and whatnot. It's very important that the horses took priority. You got to make sure you got your gear off your horses. Pretty quick, smart. They do a great job carrying us on the packs. You know, some days they're carrying up to over 100 kilos on their back for 10, 12 hours a day. All right, I've got the saddle. I've got my saddle cloth, which protects the horse from the saddle and protects the saddle from the horse a bit as well. It goes on first, just like, uh-oh. Okay. Up. Here we go. There we go. Nope, that's not working either. Come on, mate, you need to get up. Let's go. Come on, up you get. Come on. Come on. Hey. That's working. Problems here these days, men and the girls. Yeah, they brought the Brahmins over from America back in 1933, so they've been here quite a while now. And I think the main reason they brought them over is they're great resistance to the hot weather. They do very well in the hotter climates. So, you know, northern Australia here really suits the Brahmin cattle. Now, if you have a bit of a look at the way Barney's set up, all that floppy skin underneath him, that's not for him to grow into, that's actually the cooling system.
Rather than run you through a series of videos, I'll give you a handful of snaps of the actual museum, and hopefully you'll get the appreciation of what it's all about. One thing I will say is the black box pictured here never was black, so there's something for you.
And it would look a little bit like this. Now, the only reason why you'd ever see a third engine or a spare engine being flown around on one of the wings would be, say over in Singapore, there's 747 that had a blowout engine or an engine failure. They would need a replacement. Singapore may not just have a spare engine laying around, so we would fly the one. Maybe from Melbourne, get a 747 200 series, attaching the spare engine to its wing, flying it over to Singapore, and then they can swap over to the one that's in need. And they usually are attached to other passenger flights, yeah. Now, this engine, with all its gearing fittings, weighs 6 tons and only has 6 attachment bolts, and I kid you not, folks, they are that big in length. They say 10 centimeters, but there are safety procedures why the bolts are that size. One of those safety procedures is a belly landing. So planes are built and designed to land on their bellies. If they have to, of course. I mean, it's not a very common thing, but they can do. But they need to be done a certain way, because if we all have a look, our engines, they're hanging lower than that belly. So the parts will actually fly down to aim to hit the bottom of that engine first, snapping those 6 bolts. Now, 4 engines, okay, at the one time will detach from the wing, but they're actually going to detach, flip up over your fuel tanks, so they're jumping over your wing. There will be, though, a safety cable that's attaching the engine to the wing, so they don't just detach completely and just roll off into no man's land and cause more damage. They're essentially still attached to the plane.
Kind of floods out in channels and gullies and creeks and all the rest of it over a big stretch of country. In some places it's 50 kilometres wide. And this time of the year, well, they're just starting to move now. They'll start flying up here. The pelicans, there's thousands and thousands of pelicans in that part of the world. If we get rain before Christmas in this part of the world, we say it's a bonus. And it only runs when we get our monsoonal rains, and that's normally February, March.
So old mate's got to the fire, he's whacked some water in that. Once the water's physically turning over, actually boiling, just a measure of loose leaf tea. None of this Tetley tea bag jiggling. Oh, and if you've got a stick in can, the stick's always handy. You know the sticks fall off.
I always kill 99.9% of germs. Poor little 0.1. We found a post. Yeah, no, it's poor little lonely. We found a post. Works our stuff. We put our own stuff in there. Kills 110%. I killed them all. No lonely ones. So one side come here and go to the white post. The other side go around there. So when we made Bill, being a decent sort of fellow, he leaned over and tugged it out. Well, I knew she didn't like that, so I jammed it back.
hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did. And until next time, this is Four Wheel Drive signing off.